for calling about your City Advantage business card.
Let's hear it again. Thank you for calling about your...
Thank you for calling about your City Advantage business card.
Come
This
on.
call may be monitored or recorded.
Even they say it. So I recently applied and was approved for not just one American Airlines credit card by Citi, but also an American Airlines credit card by Barclays. And you can see Barclays seems to be doing a lot better job at just the way the card looks versus Citi on the A card. But the main reason, which I didn't talk about on my Watch Me Apply, a lot of people were wondering, why did you get one with Citi and why did you get one with Barclays? And there was a couple of main things with that, aside from how nice the card actually looks. The first reason is, well, you can see right here, Citi to become an exclusive AA card issuer, Barclays cards to be discontinued. So that's right, this credit card right here, the American Airlines card by Barclays, will be discontinued at some point in the next year when they actually start issuing the cards from Citi directly only. So this card in its current form, we have no idea what's going to happen in the future, if it just gets discontinued, if it goes over to Citi for some reason. So I wanted to jump on this card because at least right now, and if you weren't aware, this is a credit card that actually you can earn 60,000 AA miles, which we'll talk about how powerful they are in just a second. But you can get 60,000 miles for just one purchase. That's right. I literally hit the spend just yesterday because I just booked an American Airlines flight from Charlotte to London, and I literally had to pay for a seat. So I used this card to pay for that seat, and I already got my bonus of not just 60,000 miles, because right now, for the exact same annual fee of $99, if you just search a little bit deeper, if you just type in AA Barclays 70K right here, you can get this offer, which instead of the 60K, you get 70,000 for the exact same spend requirement. First purchase, that's right. It could be 1 cent or it could be $1,000. Anything will code for the first purchase. I saw somebody on the live stream yesterday. They actually said that they bought a 50-cent cup of ramen noodles on Amazon, I think, and that coded towards the purchase. So that was very cool. I ended up paying for some seat selection, but to each their own. So right then and there, for a card that may not even exist at all in the not so distant future, you might as well want to pick up one of the most powerful airline currencies, I think known to the points and miles community right now. And on top of that, this is a personal card, so it is counting towards my 524. Not like I really care about it at this point, to be honest, but just something to note nonetheless. But part of the reason is, anytime that I do end up applying for a personal card, I always try to end up for applying for a similar card, but on the business side. And that's kind of how I came to the Citi A Advantage Business World Elite MasterCard right here, for a couple of reasons. One, it's business card, so it's not going to count towards 524 if that's something you care about. But also that the annual fee of $99 is going to be waived for the first 12 months. So pretty much no harm, no foul. $0 for the first year. All you have to do is spend $5,000 on this card in the first 5 months, so pretty much $1,000 every single month. And you're going to be getting an additional 75,000 AA miles, American Airlines miles. So I think for the amount of spend that you've put in, so 5 grand and 1 penny, technically, and the amount of annual fees you have to pay, at least for the first year, where it's just the $99 annual fee for the Barclays card. Again, for this card that may not even exist, it might just get discontinued, and then you never have to pay that annual fee after it gets discontinued after the first year. Who really knows? But at least for the first year, $100, and you get back about 145,000 AA miles, right then and there. Now, one downside that I learned, which I didn't really go into too much on that first video, is, and I have now seen why it's like most people don't care about these cards that much, is that while the welcome offers are very strong, right? You get some great AA miles, and maybe some people might say like you actually get some good multipliers. You can get a 2x back AA card on everything with this Barclays card right here. And you can, they have a couple of little benefits like, a companion certificate, but it's only if you spend $20,000 every single year. So it's like, is anybody really doing that? I'm sure some people are, but not a lot of us. First check bag is free, which would be great for up to you and 4 companions. So that's awesome, but it's only on domestic American Airlines flights. That's right. So most of the time, a lot of people who do get American Airlines miles or even Alaska miles, pay Alaska miles but book American Airlines flight, they are flying domestically. And in that example, like if you book an American Airlines flight but with Alaska miles, you actually can still get some of the benefits you would get with this card, but you have to do one special thing first. They actually outline it here on Dan's Deals, which is how to get American Elite and card benefits when redeeming mileage awards via partner airlines, in this case, Alaska. They mention here that while officially you're supposed to keep the mileage number that you redeem miles with, no airline actually enforces this. And they say when you use Alaska miles, the workaround is quite simple. When booking a ticket, select new passenger or create a profile for yourself other than myself. In there, when everything populates, just make sure that you leave the mileage program completely blank. And in this guy's example, he booked a flight from New York to Cleveland, where it was 4,500 miles. He was given the record locators. And then once you go into AA itself, you can just type in AA record locator, put in your last name and the confirmation code. It'll auto populate. And then once that pops up, all you have to do is just add your AA number right there. And they mention like this: if it's domestic flight, if you have an AA card like I do now have as well, that will unlock benefits like, check bags for free. And they also mention if you have platinum status or higher, that will unlock the ability to select MCE seats at no charge. Higher level main cabin seats, essentially. Complimentary upgrade requests as well. And they go through it if you book it with Avios as well, and a few other things. Definitely check out this article if you're interested. Just type in Dan's Deals, how to get American Elite, via partners, and you'll find it. And I also just personally went to call to actually do this, and I thought this was funny. Listen to the opening line when you called the number on the back of the card.
Thank you for calling about your City Advantage business card. This call may be.
Did you hear it again? Let's hear it again. Thank you for calling about your.
Thank you for calling about your City Advantage business card.
Come
This
on.
call may be monitored or recorded.
Even they say it. I can't. Okay. Back to the normal video. So in this case, that actually is pretty powerful, but I think the majority of the flights I'm going to be booking with these AA miles won't even be spent on an American Airlines flight itself. So it's not something that I'm too necessarily worried about in the first place, but definitely if there's more domestic stuff down the line, I could think about that a little bit more. So it's just something to consider. 0% APR, 15 months, if you care about that. Enjoy preferred boarding. Like there's a few little benefits here and there, but the main real benefit here is the miles. That's the main thing, and that's also something that I noticed on the business card as well. Very, very similar terms with the first check bag only on domestic American Airlines flights and stuff like that. So I thought that was interesting. So, I mean, again, for the miles itself, it's infinitely powerful, I think. But here are a couple things that I have noted in that video and want to reaffirm to all the people out there. Now, one thing that I found after talking to a lot of people who book all these crazy flights is since I'm going to be going to Japan, I have found after searching endlessly every single day for the last close to 2 months now, 1.5 months, on seats.aero right here, link down in the pinned comment below. But essentially allows you to find a bunch of award flights, so ones that you could book with points and miles. And it'll tell you which airline you need those miles with. So in this case, it's an American Airlines miles that you need to book this Japan Airlines flight. These are the routes: Haneda, Japan to San Francisco. And these are the amount of miles that you need, or they mention points, but it's miles. And there's 2 seats left. So technically right now, on May 21st, 2025, so not that long, few days from now, for 60,000 one way, one seat, I can book this business class on Japan Airlines. And so one thing that I found is that Japan Airlines, and as Michael Wong has often said, is they're like the king of last minute redemptions, because you could see there's a bunch of seats right here, all for the exact same business class on Japan for 60,000 miles. So with these 2 cards alone, essentially 70K on the Barclays and 75K on here, that's 145,000. I only need 120,000 to book these business class seats on Japan Airlines home next year when I go to Japan. So that's why I applied for these cards in the first place, because that's an insane amount of value, I think, personally. And it's just a personal goal of mine. They have the Sakura Lounge out there. If you fly from Narita, a lot of people in the comments from that video said it's an amazing lounge. So I'm even more excited to use my A miles in this way. But just know that this is what my personal goal is with these miles at the moment. However, one thing that I have noticed when I've been doing live streams and showcasing this amazing Seats.io app that I've been waiting way too long to actually use is that domestically, I think a lot of people, or even like to Europe, a lot of people don't realize like the power of AA miles to get you there very, very cheaply. I think we had somebody that was talking about trying to find the best flights possible from Dallas over to San Francisco. So I said, okay, let's check that out with AA miles, since I think he had some AA miles or he had some Alaska miles. So let's search that as well. I believe his dates were right around July. And we can see if you have American Airlines miles and you want to fly from Dallas to San Francisco, I mean, that's 9,000 points per seat in economy with only 560 in taxes. That's really, really cheap. It's one of the cheapest flights you could possibly get. Let's do another example. Let's say we want to fly from JFK and we want to go down to, maybe we want to go to Texas. Let's go to Dallas in this case, right? Search the same dates. Wham bam, even less, 7,500 points per way in economy. Not too bad. Let's do one more. Why not? I'll even showcase a flight that I just booked recently from Charlotte over to London Heathrow. In the not so distant future in economy, you can actually see with American Airlines miles, you can fly direct from Charlotte to London for only 560 in taxes per ticket one way, 27,000 points in economy. I mean, that's extremely cheap. I mean, you go to London for extremely cheap with these American Airlines miles. Same with Alaska as well, but it's something I did recently, and it's just something that I could see why so many people have talked up American Airlines miles over the years. In fact, I was actually even going even crazier, and I was watching Sean Lane and Sherwin of the BS podcast. Shout out to them. They were talking about Etihad Airlines first class tricks to be able to like book Etihad first class, like the apartment or the residence. And so I was just looking for the heck of it. And they said there's some routes where you can fly first class on Etihad, the American Airlines miles, and I found it right here, Paris over to Abu Dhabi. And you could fly Etihad the apartment first class for only 62,000 American Airlines miles. I was like, wow, that's actually, at least for like a bucket list type of redemption, that's really, really cool. I think that's really, really cool. So it all stems back to like the same thing. I guess you get my point. Like either it's domestic or even in a lot of use cases for all these people who are doing this way bigger than me. And I'm just starting to really learn about all this stuff. And it's so exciting. For these types of miles that you can earn fairly easily, at least with these cards. And shout out to the personal version of the card that I also got. It's also waived for the first year annual fee, but you get 50,000 miles for a little bit less spend. But for cards that you could apply for and get some decent miles where it could help you book, so many different flights, whether here or there, I just think it's infinitely valuable. And it's why I ended up applying for both of them at the exact same time. Because while this card might be going away, so 70,000 miles may not exist tomorrow, it's also why I applied for the Hawaiian Airlines credit card, because that card's also going to be discontinued. So I'm like, make hay while the freaking sun is shining. If you can get these cards that all these people who've been doing this forever get immense amount of value from, might as well pick it up, might as well hit that spend, might as well get those miles and enjoy those cards in the meantime. So this way you can enjoy some travels in the future. And I guess that's the way I've kind of like delegated everything. And actually, spoiler, I think I'm going to apply for the Alaska cards as well. And in case you were unfamiliar, a little bit of a side thing, but the Alaska Airlines credit cards also have the same power that all the American Airlines cards have. It's maybe just slightly more expensive, but Alaska's amazing as well for booking these things. And they have elevated offers right now where the Alaska Airlines business card is 75K up from 60K. And then even the personal version as well has 75,000. So I actually think I'm going to apply for these cards very, very soon as well. But for these cards too, that's 150,000. And again, that's more and more programs that can help you book business Japan or business a lot of different areas. You can even book for 55,000 per ticket business from Charlotte to London. Not too bad. And I just think if you just can amass all of these different credit cards to hit your goals for which airlines you want to hit in the future, or whatever routes you want to run. Again, I'm still such a novice in this whole game, but I feel like I'm really coming into it now. I'm really having fun with finding these certain airlines. What's the best currency to get there, and then just go for those cards. Screw everything else. Honestly, just if you want that particular hotel, you want that particular flight, find what your dream flight is. I think find your dream location. How could you get there in style? How could you stay there in style? Get the cards associated with that. I think that's the way, and that's the reason why I applied for these two credit cards at the same time. So let me know if there's anything I missed, any blind spots that I have here. Personally, I just think the cards are, good welcome offers. Intrinsically doesn't seem to have the most amount of value. One of them is going to be discontinued at some point. So really it's kind of just get in, enjoy, and get out, if that makes sense, after the first year, after a couple of years, something like that. And if you want to see that, watch me apply and actually all my data points, you can check it out right here. Appreciate every single one of you guys. Thank you so much and enjoy. Keep traveling. Have fun.